Up next, when you're a farmer, the bottom line is everything. The weather and fluctuating commodity prices alone are enough to cause a few sleepless nights. So the last thing you need to worry about is a wild animal damaging fields and disrupting your operation. The video you're about to watch was first produced in 2017, but the problem still exists. So this week in Encore, we examine the feral hog problem that's still affecting Mississippi, Texas, and other states across the Southeast. Experts are still actively working to find a solution. Here's our Hogumentary.
I don't think currently there is a county in Mississippi that does not have a hog walking on it right now. If populations keep expanding over the next 10 years, 10 to 15 years, like they've done the last 10 to 15 years, we're going to go from about half of Mississippi land area occupied by wild hogs to 100%.
A home just out on the edge of town, pigs had come into the fellow's yard there and rooted up his yard. And I heard a lot of people talking about after that, we didn't realize there were these, wild pigs in the area. Well, they're here.
7 years ago, as we're hunting, me and my son, I found a wallow. I knew what it was when I saw it, and I asked a friend of mine that hunts in the same bottom, and he said he had actually saw a hog turkey hunting. The following year, we got to seeing more sign. The next year, the population exploded, and we said we're going to start trapping hogs.
I did one site visit where probably 80% of the yard was rooted up. They did use a game camera, and I think they counted about 18 pigs in this group.
If in 10 to 15 years 100% is occupied by wild hogs, the damage estimates are going to be out of control. It's going to negatively impact so many people's lives. And we're going to look back in the early 2000s and 2010, 2015, and wish we had acted on it. So now's the time to act before it's too late. We've had hogs, wild hogs in Mississippi for probably well over 50 years. And they were isolated in small pockets just like in a lot of the U.S. But it's really over the past 20 years, and especially the last 15 to 10, is what we've seen this rapid expansion. We probably have a couple 100,000 hogs in Mississippi, whereas in places like Texas you have in the millions. So we're not there yet, and we don't want to get there, but we certainly have enough to be causing a tremendous amount of damage.
Initially we thought, well, wow, that's neat. We've got pigs here that gives us something else to hunt, and it was kind of novel for us. But that real quickly that changed, and we began realizing the damage that they did, and it just got to be where I didn't like to see pigs anymore. Didn't want a pig anywhere near the place. My objective with my property is to promote wildlife as much as I can. My family and friends, we hunt here. I plant probably 15 to 20 acres of food plots each year, and it's really frustrating. When the pigs come through and destroy it, that's gone. All that time and effort, the money that it costs to buy seed and fertilizer, that effort's gone. The hog numbers have increased and our deer numbers have decreased. It's affected our enjoyment of the property. My objective with this place is to make it into a premier wildlife habitat. It's very difficult to do with the pigs. I love this land. It's an important place for me and my family. In a lot of ways, my children have grown up here with me. We spent a lot of time here together, a lot of quality time. I want my family to be able to continue to do this, for many generations. I hope that they can.
They get into a hayfield and they can just tear it up like a bomb went off in it, and it makes the ground just terribly rough. Of course, it kills what's there. It's just like somebody disc a field up and didn't do anything to it. I mean, they just tear it up, and grass grows back over, and you don't even know it's there. Monetarily, the damage it does to us would be damage to our hay fields, and then just wear and tear on your equipment. I mean, banging around with a hay baler and a tractor is just rough on them, and the more you beat them up, the quicker they're going to wear out. So, you may not realize that the money's coming out of your pocket tomorrow, but 5 years down the road, well, here's a big bill, and it was caused by all this rough ground that you rode over. I'm a small-time guy. I don't have a big profit margin to start with, so anytime that I waste money, it hurts my bottom end on whether I make a profit or not.
We've heard this so many times at our workshops when we're working with landowners. Someone will come up and say, 5 years ago we saw the first hog and we thought it was kind of cool. And literally all these people will say within 3 to 5 years, now they're completely out of control. Literally this animal can have a reproductive rate 2 times that of white-tailed deer. And everyone knows how many deer we have throughout the U.S. and throughout Mississippi. And so our role in extension is, number one, we want to educate people and let them know that you don't want this animal on your property. And then secondly, if you have hogs, if you are currently experiencing damage, let's educate you on what are the best, most cost-effective and efficient techniques for trapping them and limiting their populations.
The website that we created, wildpiginfo.com, has been a good delivery system. We have on there different material like how to build a trap. We have diagrams, how to place trail cameras for monitoring the trap. We tried to think of everything possible that someone would want to know about wild hogs.
The website that we have, the videos that we have, we're literally all throughout North America. A lot of people know Mississippi State Extension and what we're doing with the hog damage program. So I want to know and hope that Extension has played a role causing the decline, at least in some areas, of wild hogs.
Trapping wild hogs is a big challenge. The ones that have had success have pretty well followed our protocol that we outlined. You've got to scout the area out, you put out trail cameras, you try to get an idea of how many hogs there are. No running dogs, no shooting while you're trying to trap, and being able to get them in a trap.
What I hope people will take away from this video is first of all an understanding of how serious this problem is, so that we can, in general, the citizens of Mississippi can stand up and say, we don't want this. Hopefully, we can stop this in its tracks before it gets any worse.
Great story. And as I said earlier, a problem that still exists, and as former anchor Leighton Spann said back in 2017, the type of problem that still won't be corrected quickly or easily. Quick note, that website address mentioned in the story was changed a while back. It's now wildpiginfo.msstate.edu. It's an extension website, wildpiginfo.msstate.edu. A lot of good information there. Also, Zach was part of the crew that shot the video for that story. Easy to see why the wild hogs are such a nuisance.
That's right, Mike. You saw some of the hogs that were in that trap, and I shot some of that footage. And when I was out there, you saw that the sow and her offspring, they were freaking out pretty good. And she was banging up against the side of that trap with her snout. You could see how much power and devastation those things can do.
And why they can cause so much damage. One last note, next week we'll have a follow-up on this story, an interview with Ag Commissioner Andy Gibson. Mississippi has an in-depth wild hog control program. Commissioner Gibson will bring us up to date on the current situation, give us some insight, and tell us more about that program.